It's me, T1na Ba1ley, here in the Spirit Hour. It is 3:47 a.m. Central Time over here on the East Coast. And the title of this live is Match Your Senses. All right. I have realized that I have been mix matching. I have been mix matching my senses. Think and not achieving or accomplishing the goal that I set out because I mismatched my senses. What am I talking about? Okay, let's see if I can explain. If I'm, let's see. All right, you have your five senses. You have touch. You have touch, taste, seeing, hearing, and feeling. I think those are the five. Touch, taste, seeing, hearing, smelling. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. All right. So let's see. To match your senses, to taste a delicious meal that tastes good, you would eat a food that tastes good, thus matching the sense of taste to a tasteable food. Okay, let's see. To see something, to see something delightfully, you use your eyes. So that's a match. To hear something pleasant, you listen with your ears. That's a match. All right. To touch something pleasant, it's with the touch, the feeling. That is a match. Where I was mix matching was I was hearing with my ears. Okay, hold on. Let me back up. I knew that a touch sensation was what I was going for. Okay, so that's in my head. I heard some words. I heard some descriptions of some words. I saw and read with my eyes the description of the words. So now we have seeing, hearing, hearing. For what we are going for is touch, though. Okay, so touch is the goal here. So I'm hearing, I'm seeing. What I hear, I get something that I've heard of. What I see with my eyes, I match as far as the words with what I've heard. So I have seen and matched my hearing with my seeing. And touch hasn't even been touched. Like, okay, touch is like, okay, I'm over here. You're listening, you're seeing. Um, how about, what about me? So, okay. Um, there are some sayings, and this is going to have to be part one of this discovery because I'm in self discovery mode and have come to realize that I have been mismatching my senses, and I have matched my senses, thankfully, um, to realize that I have been mismatching it. If touch says, okay, I would like this touch, then that's what you get for that touch sense. Um, versus what you've heard, because hearing is a different sense. What you hear and what you hearing and touch are two different things. So if I got something that I heard about, it's not necessarily, well, it wasn't what my touch was looking for. So my touch got overlooked. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like a sense, I was overlooking my sense of touch. So my sense of touch has um been, or is I would say underdeveloped because, like, okay, how many times do I touch? Do you like being touched? Do you not like being touched? Um and then there's, who do you like to touch? You know, do you like holding hands? Do you like shaking hands? Um, how do you feel when you go and get change from somebody if they touch your hand? What sensation does that give? Do you like pull away, or do you allow touching the hands? I don't know. It's just, touch is touchy. It's a touchy situation. It's like going to a shoemaker for shoes instead of going to a fish salesman for shoes. So I see that's where I have been leaving out my sense of touch. And this is all because I've been working on doing the exercises in the book that I've been reading. Um, in Focus, Aura's Your Personal Guide. I've been doing the sense exercises to develop your senses, and the sense that we're on, um, that I read the first exercise of, is feelings. So that's why this topic here is feelings. We have another exercise coming up on developing your feelings. So that's where I'm at right now. Developing my feelings, noticing where I have been um, uh, ignoring my feelings, really, by what I've heard or what I seen. Because there is a saying that says, like, see or believe none of what you hear and half of what you none. What is it? Believe none of what you see and half of what you hear, or something like that. And that's kind of true when you are. I'm seeing that sense to be true because then you got thought, and you collect a bunch of data from what you've heard and what you've seen, and now you have thought coming into play, and then so you have all this collected data. Well, I'm talking about me and my self experience over here, and what I've been experiencing and my development. So I've collected data, I've heard, I've seen, I've read, I'm thinking, and before all of this seeing, hearing, reading, thinking, I knew that my sense of touch, I knew my sense of touch. I said, dot, 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 that's what I would like as a sense of touch, period. That's what my feeling and touch um, spoke out. And now I have read, I have heard, I have collected data, I have thought, and all of that has layered over what my first instinct is, and that was okay. I like this touch. Boom! I like this touch. That, and that was my first like initial sense was I like this touch. Okay, so go for this touch. And then I heard, I read, I saw, I collected more data, I thought and thought and thought. And then I did get um I did get that touch um match. I also like double I thought too much or I had too much data and it got mashed together, and I knew what my touch w- was asking for. I got that. I also seemed to not be able to let go of what I heard and read and seen. So there were like other senses involved. Like, okay, touch said, okay, this is what I want. And then my other senses was like, well, this is what we heard, and this is what we saw, and this is what I overthink. And then you wind up either purchasing or experiencing something that you may um, not like because it doesn't match the sense that you were going for. So if your hearing is saying, oh, my hearing um, touch would like this, and touch has already said, no, I would like this. Okay, so touch already said that, right? So feeling or seeing or hearing or thought needs to learn to take a back seat and allow the senses to respect really what touch wanted. Okay, okay. It's almost like, okay, so like, yeah. So yeah, instead of, okay, so the situation was that touch was like, hey, I would like this. And then hearing and seeing and thought was like, well, maybe you would like this. And touch was like, but I would like this. And feeling and seeing and thought was like, but doesn't this sound good? And touch is like, I don't hear that. Like, you have to match your senses to to have the optimum experience that you're going for. Like, touch would like this, yes, get this for touch. Taste would like this, yes, get this for taste. Hearing would like to hear music or poems. Senses would like to smell a certain sense. Um, yeah. So what I have been allowing were like my hearing and seeing and thought to double gang or triple gang or gang up on my touch sense. And then like they knew, oh, you don't like this. And my touch sense over here like, ah, would you just listen to me, please? And and hearing and seeing and thought is like, oh no, we know what you're gonna like. We know what you're gonna like because we done thought about it. We done heard this over here. We read this over here. Meanwhile, touch is like, and thus that could cause all of your senses to be frustrated if you allow senses to like not be heard so much, because I was relying more on thought, which thought is not a sense per se, but in the book it does say that we have relied on thought more. So it's added as a sense. So I have been like relying on thought and hearing and seeing perhaps more so than touch. And when it comes to touch, like I was allowing hearing, seeing, and thought to be more dominant. So those are three other senses that took precedent over touch, the sense of touch. So now that I've seen that, I've developed that. I mean, like self discovery, voila, like, oh wow, like now my goal is to shift and allow touch to have a presence, which I have, and a voice to that will be heard, and allow uh, hearing and seeing and thought to take a back seat to what touch would like. Okay, yes, okay, you get what you like to hear, but allow your senses to allow each sense to be heard, um, and allow yourself to gratify each sense with that sense. So to match up your senses to allow for um, learning your senses, becoming strong in your senses, and when you develop your five senses, and they all work together cohesively, then you have begun your sixth sense or developed a sixth sense, so to speak. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And I am thankful and grateful for this book. This is a great self-discovery book here. And it's about auras and chakras and developing your chakras and becoming aware of your senses, which I am so thankful that I am becoming aware of my senses. And yeah, that's this video here at the Spirit Hour. I do encourage you to do the same. You can listen to the book that I have, the parts of the book that I have read here on my YouTube channel, and I started reading the exercises on my podcast. I do have an exercise up yesterday, and it is about feelings because I do think that each and every one of these exercises is most important. Self-development is important. I did share yesterday the exercise about feeling and feeling yourself and how do you feel. And this right here is my sharing of me doing the exercise and becoming aware that of what I just shared with you today. So thank you to my local library. That's where I got my book from. And it is In Focus Auras, Your Personal Guide by Joylina Goodings. And should you choose, you can go to your local library and see if it's there. And you can check it out and begin to read from me. If you do check this book out, let me know and we can read together and have discussions and so forth and so on and vis-a-vis. Thank you so very much for your attention, and I hope that you be attentive to your senses. This is T1na Ba1ley, and I am saying toodles.